Andrew Abbott of the Cincinnati Reds and Tyler Wells of the Baltimore Orioles face off in a classic pitchers match, and Jordan Westburg shows that he belongs up in the bigs. But the Birds fall 3-1 in Game 2, setting up an all-important Game 3 rubber match tomorrow at 7:05. We'll see what went wrong, and we'll talk about it here shortly.
Let's go O's!
What's going on, Birdland? Hey, Bopst here, and unfortunately I got to give you the bad news. The Birds dropped Game 2 3-1 to the Cincinnati Reds tonight. It was a classic pitcher's duel, just as I had said in the preview that it would be. But it was a great baseball game. Unfortunately, the Birds came up short. Wasn't a lot of hitting because both pitchers pitched so great. But Andrew Abbott's going to get the W. He goes 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, and 3 walks. And Tyler Wells went 6 innings, 2 earned, 7 Ks, and 1 walk. And then Diaz gets the save for the Cincinnati Reds. So let's go over in the box score just so we can get some numbers. Cincinnati Reds finished with 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. And the Baltimore Orioles finished with 1 run, 3 hits, and 0 errors. And we'll go and look at what we did offensively. So Austin Hayes went 0 for 4. Adley Rutschman went 0 for 3. Anthony Santander went 0 for 4. Gunnar Henderson went 1 for 4. Hicks 0 for 3, but he did score a run. Ramon Urias 0 for 2. Cedric Mullins 0 for 1. Jordan Westburg had 2 of Baltimore's 3 hits. He finished tonight 2 for 3. Ryan McKenna went 0 for 1, but he did have a ribby. And Ryan O'Hearn went 0 for 1. Jorge Mateo went 0 for 2. And Frazier, he didn't record an at-bat because he got hit by a pitch. Tyler Wells once again went 6 innings. His pitch count was 99. 4 hits, 2 earned. 1 walk, 7 Ks. Keegan Aiken came in and looked much better tonight. He went 1 inning, had 2 Ks. Brian Baker did give up 1 earned run on a home run after the rain delay. And Cionel Perez looked a lot better as well. He had a walk and a K. So, Game 2, Cincinnati Reds, Baltimore Orioles. First pitch was at 7:06. The announced attendance was 14,057 fans. Top 1. Actually, the first, second, and third inning, Tyler Wells looks fantastic. He went 1, 2, 3, faced the minimum. And, I mean, he really was pitching well. And you could see that it was setting up to be a classic pitcher's duel. Bottom of the second, Hicks walks on 5 pitches. Urias works at full before flying out to Friedel. And then Jordan Westburg singles. So Hicks moves to third with 1 out. And then Ryan McKenna hits a sac fly to right field, producing Baltimore's lone run. That was in his second. It gave Baltimore an early 1-0 lead. Once again, Tyler Wells goes 1, 2, 3 in the third. Bottom of the third, Hayes draws a leadoff walk. Adley lines out the second. He smoked one. It was just right at somebody. And then Santander and Gunnar Henderson both K'd. So interesting kind of point of the game where the game seemed to change was because Tyler Wells was pitching so well. Top of the fourth, Friedel leads off, and Tyler's pitching great once again, and he's got 2 strikes on him, and Friedel takes advantage of Gunnar playing deep with those 2 strikes, and he lays down a perfect bunt down the third base line. So Friedel reaches on a base hit down third, and then McLean comes up right after him and smokes an RBI double off the center field wall. Tyler Wells does end up getting out of the jam by striking out India and Ellie. And then Fraley pops out to third to get out of the jam. But at that point, the damage had been done. It's 1-1, all knotted up. So bottom of the fifth, Mateo, Hayes, Rutschman, I'll go 1, 2, 3. And then the top of the sixth, Matt McLean smokes a ball It was just a mistake left up in his own high fastball, and Matt McLain smokes it over the center field wall. And that puts Cincinnati up 2-1. So bottom of the sixth, the O's go 1-2-3 with Santander, Gunnar, and Hicks. He's called out on an auto strike, which was real interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before, especially not from the Orioles. They've had some pitch timer violations as batters as well. But his third strike was because he wasn't attentive to the pitcher, and they ended up ending the sixth. So once again, Keegan Aiken comes in. He goes 1-2-3 with 2 Ks and a ground out. And then the bottom of the seventh, Baltimore had a golden opportunity to get back in this ball game. Said let off with a walk to start the inning, and Sims, who came in to pitch, he threw 2 straight pickoff attempts to first to try to get Said. And, Said reached safely. And so he's got a great opportunity now, because the next time the pitcher goes to first base, he has to get Cedric or it's considered a balk. And Said gets the next bag. So Said takes a tremendous lead, and 2 pitches later ends up trying to take second. And in the process of him trying to take second, Maile, the catcher, Luke Maile, throws an absolute frozen rope. It's a little bit up the line, but it actually probably assisted a lot with India's tag, because if he throws it to the bag, I think Said's going to be safe. But because it went up the line, India was able to slap that tag down on his rear end, and Said was out. But how that became so important is because with Said getting thrown out at second, Jordan Westburg ends up coming back up, and he walks right behind him. And so Westburg walks, and then he's moved over to second when Ryan O'Hearn on a 3-0 pitch it's almost like it was inadvertently, slaps it to short, and India didn't cover second, so he goes to first, and now you got 2 down with Westburg standing there at second base. So then Frazier gets hit by a pitch, which puts him on first and second. So you got Jordan Westburg on second, and you have Adam Frazier on first. And Austin Hayes comes to the plate. And this was one of 2 times where Austin had a big opportunity. And in this instance, he was the victim of an egregious strike call. It was 0-1 count, and he gets a running fastball in on the hands that literally in replay is on the chalk of the batter's box, in on his hands. I mean, not even close to a strike. It had to have been 3-4 inches inside. And so now he's down 0-2, and which obviously completely changes an AB. And he ends up getting rung up later with a pitch in on his hands, but that one actually crossed the plate. But once again, when you start getting strike calls like that, it really hurts you, because you don't know where the heck the strike zone is. So there goes one of the opportunities where Hayes has a chance to get the O's back on the board and back into the game, but squanders that opportunity. And then once again in the bottom of the ninth, Diaz ends up working into some traffic. He hits O'Hearn, and so O'Hearn and Frazier get on base, and Austin Hayes gets another opportunity to drive him in and smokes a ball, but a couple of balls in the ninth inning were just hit right at people. So nonetheless, just like I had said in the preview, this was going to be a pitcher's duel, and Andrew Abbott was fantastic. And here's the thing, so was Tyler Wells. Tyler Wells pitched a fantastic baseball game, and unfortunately the Birds just weren't able to get him any runs because Abbott was so good. And he falls to 6-4 on the season, which is really not indicative of how well Tyler Wells has pitched. So the Birds go to 48-30. At this time, they're 4.5 games back from Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is currently playing in Arizona, and they're down 8-4 in the bottom of the 8th. So probably safe to say, Lord willing, that the Rays are going to take an L. So that's good for the Orioles. Right now, like I said, they're 4.5 games back. And, if Tampa Bay loses, they'll remain 4 games back. And that sets up tomorrow's rubber game between Baltimore and Cincinnati. And this is a very important series because it's in Baltimore. And, Cincinnati's a good baseball team. They're playing real well. But the Orioles, if they're gonna show and continue to be contenders, they need to be able to take these series at home, and so it's gonna be another really good baseball game, and I'm really excited because Kyle Gibson's on the mound, and he's been pitching very well. So Gibby will take the mound for the rubber match and see if he can get the Birds back in the win column, and Luke Weaver will be coming out for the Cincinnati Reds, which he's a right-handed pitcher. So the Birds have gotten 2 lefties to start the series. They'll finally get the righty back in. It'll be interesting. You'll see a lot of left-handed bats. We got a lot of switch hitters. And I think what's more interesting in that is, does Jordan Westburg play? Or do you start Frazier because he's a lefty out at second base? So that'll be interesting to see on whether they give Westburg the nod, because kid's playing well. I think he's batting .500 right now since he's come up to the big leagues. So it'll be interesting to see if Frazier gets the nod or if they go with Jordan Westburg. Another interesting thing that I wanted to talk about, and I kind of skipped it, is Adley ended up working a walk. And I've been kind of thinking about this because we all know that Adley never swings at the first pitch. And it's become like an automatic strike, if you will, where if the pitcher has any kind of command, he's just kind of laying one in there because he knows that Adley is going to take that pitch. And I had seen a couple of comments with people acknowledging that and understanding that Adley often gets in 0-1 counts to start his AB. But the guy just, as big of a funk as he's in right now, if you will, his eye is just so good, and I think that his whole game plan is that he wants to see a pitch, even if that pitch is probably the best pitch he's going to get in that bat. I think that that's just Adley's mentality, and I think it's still going to serve him well in the long run. Yeah, would I like for him to, take a shot every once in a while at that fastball that's right down the middle? Yeah, I'd like to see him sit on that occasionally just to keep people honest. But, he likes to take that first pitch, and that's just Adley Rutschman. And, I even found myself complaining about it during the game, and then sure enough, he works, like a 7-8 pitch walk. So he knows what he's doing. But I just thought that was kind of an interesting component to the game, and just listening to some of what individuals are saying about, Adley taking that first pitch, automatic strike almost, if you will. So, once again, this game was another rain delay, an hour and 43 minutes. So back-to-back games where they ended late, and hopefully we'll get some better weather tomorrow, and we can just, we can have everything done by 10:30, 11 o'clock, because these late nights are they're catching up to me. So, hey, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts about the game, man. What did you think? What did you think about some of the changes that Brandon Hyde made, especially after the rain delay? Some of the lefty-righty matchups that he was trying to get to, and tell me what you think about tomorrow's game. Is this an important game in that, we need to continue winning these series, or, do you think that the Reds are just too hot right now? Leave a comment. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to interacting with you guys. Hey, it's just one ball game. That's the great thing about baseball. There's 162 of them. And, the Orioles are still 18 games above 500. So, we really can't complain too much about that. So like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. We'll get the rubber match going tomorrow at 7:05. Go Birds.